Welcome to the High on Wrestling Podcast. And here's your host, Dusty 420. What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to High on Wrestling. And I'm your host, Dusty 420. Today we're going to talk about the wild card rule and just how stupid it is. WWE is getting desperate. You can tell. You can definitely tell. But hey, at least they're trying something. I honestly believe if they would just, give up on this whole, Vince McMahon or the McMahons, whatever, being what they think will get the ratings up, putting them back on the show is not what's going to work. What needs to happen is we need a storyline where the wrestlers are taking back control. Like, for example, when Roman showed up the other day and Vince is in the ring and he's all like, well, you're assigned to SmackDown. Roman should have been like, bitch, I might be assigned to SmackDown, but I do what I want. I am Roman Reigns. And if I want to come on Raw, I'm going to come on Raw. It's totally up to me because I'm who makes the money. I'm who puts asses in seats. That's what we need. That's the kind of, storylines we need. We need something that grabs us. We need something like at that point, then it could have been like, other wrestlers could have stepped in and be like, hey, if Roman's doing it, I'm going to do it. I got some unfinished business too. And you could have slowly have worked that instead of Vince going, I'm a genius. How about we do the wild card rule? Get the fuck out of here, man. That's not what you need, Vince. Come on, dude. What you need to do is smoke a doobie and chill the fuck out. That's what you need to do. It almost feels like, man, like there's a stench in the air, like WWE is going down. And the best way I look at it is WWE is taking in water, not really sinking, but it's got a small hole and it's taking in water. And if they don't figure out something soon, it's going to sink. They've got tons of money, so I don't think they're going to go bankrupt or anything anytime soon. But if you lose fans, if you lose people watching the product, you're going to lose your TV deals. And then you'll start to see money bleed. And hey, other billion-dollar companies have failed. So it's very possible that this could happen. And the sad thing is, he's got a life preserver right in front of him. And it's Triple H. Triple H, if he does what he's done on NXT, on Raw and SmackDown, it's going to change the game. They've got to learn to build stories. They've got to learn to make the wrestlers feel important. You can't just have 3 or 4 wrestlers that are your main guys, and then all the other guys are forgotten about or put into bullshit, make no sense, not even storylines, just thrown into matches with random each other, and it makes no sense. Why would you even go there? Why wouldn't you not just build these characters up to be stars? Man, and you know what? I don't want the Attitude Era back. I don't. I love the Attitude Era. It was a great time, but it's in the past. But one thing they did was everybody was involved. Everybody had a storyline. I mean, it's just nowadays it feels like maybe 1 or 2 has a storyline. The storylines usually don't make sense. You bring them in as a babyface after being out on injury, see Kevin Owens, and then you change it all up, and then you go back to that, but then you make him a heel. And within, 2 months? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And they never even explain why he turned babyface in the first place. So why do we keep beating the dead horse with this? You've got to build stars from the guys that are on your roster. And WWE has one of the most badass rosters probably ever because they've been buying up talent because they're so afraid of, someone else getting a gun jump on them. Like when Bullet Club was so popular, they had to go buy all the Bullet Club members. They went and got Prince Devitt, Ben Balor. They went and got AJ Styles. They got the Good Brothers. Did nothing with the Good Brothers. They've hardly did anything with Finn Balor since he was injured. And AJ Styles, of course, he's done great, but he hasn't been the Universal Champion. He hasn't headlined pay-per-views since since they decided to start doing co-branded pay-per-views. So, I mean, hell, the Intercontinental Championship main evented over the WWE Championship a few months ago. So, who's to say that he's done any better? Yes, he's been the champion, but he hasn't been a top guy. They haven't made him a megastar. And now they have this chance with Kofi. And, man, if they really wanted to, Kofi could be so huge. And he's huge right now. But if they would step away from that goofy, pancake-throwing Kofi Kingston that we see that's a member of the New Day and just, let Kofi have a mind of his own and be his own person. He doesn't even feel like the leader of the New Day. Usually in factions, you like the Evolution and the Four Horsemen. They all had one defined leader. And I always kind of felt like the New Day, it was Big E. But now Kofi's the champion, and it doesn't feel like the leader's the champion. So we need to break up the New Day, pull Kofi out on his own, maybe turn Big E against Kofi out of jealousy. Something like that. I don't know. But I think that would be probably the best bet. And hey, I'm not a wrestling booker. I'm just telling you from a fan's perspective and what a fan sees. And honestly, when I look at the WWE product, it feels so forced. It feels so it just doesn't have a realistic feel to it. It's like when they started taking soap operas and putting in alien shit. People getting abducted by aliens or dying and coming back months later, and they don't know to explain why he come back or he come back, whatever. It got so far out of the realm of believability that it was feeling forced because they were desperate for storylines. That's what this feels like. Except they're not coming up with crazy storylines. They're just not doing any good storylines. They think they can do the minimum, and that's what works. And right now, that's not what works. When you have product like ROH, like PCO is more over than probably anyone other than maybe Kofi on the whole WWE roster. PCO is so over right now, and the dude's 51 years old. But since he came to ROH, he has been a beast. He finally lost his first match against the world champion Matt Taven the other night, and Matt Taven had to cheat to win. That makes PCO feel like a star. But WWE doesn't do that. They bring them in. As soon as they get there, they start defeating them. You can't have a wrestler come in and present him as a new wrestler and immediately him start losing. That makes no sense. Like with Robert Roode. They introduced Robert Roode. I'm like, hell yeah, they finally turned Roode heel. This is going to be good, man. I loved heel in TNA. I loved heel Roode in TNA. I loved heel Roode in NXT. But here we go. He comes out there against Ricochet. He wins. I'm like, hell yeah. Then the next week, they announce that Ricochet's in the Money in the Bank. The next week, Ricochet beats Robert Roode. That kills Robert Roode's momentum. If he had any at all, it killed it. So now, it's like, what have you done? Why have you done this to Robert Roode? If they'd had Robert Roode come out there, and since he changed his gimmick, just start running through people, beating cats left and right, whether he was cheating or not, man, you could have built up a heel Robert Roode that could be a star, but they refuse to do that. I don't know what it is about creative in WWE. I don't know if it's maybe too many chiefs, not enough Indians. I don't know if maybe it's a lot of Indians and one big chief who refuses to let the Indians do what's right and make sense. I'm not sure. I have a feeling it's the second one. I have a feeling it's Vince is the big chief, and the little Indians are riding their little asses off, and Vince is like, nah, I see it this way. So, I mean, it's not going to work as long as he continues to be this way. Watching Raw, it was like, come on, man. Some of the dumbass shit. Who cares about the Usos getting icy hot on their, putting icy hot? What is it, dude? It drives me fucking crazy. I don't understand why they can't get this shit sorted out. Why they want to make the Usos, who were bad asses on SmackDown. And I don't know if you've noticed this trend or not, but these fucking epic, dude. They can be fucking epic. But they can be fucking epic, but they refuse to allow it to happen. I feel like any of the wrestlers today are anywhere. I mean, they're stars, but they're not mega stars. Becky Lynch is probably the closest we're going to get right now. And she's over. She's over, like, you know, like, shit, she's over like crazy. But that's not to say that they ain't going to take both titles off of her at Money in the Bank and put her right back down to the bottom. Because they've done that shit before. I mean, it's very possible that we could see Becky lose both belts in a week from Sunday, and boom, they're like, the push that she's had, this amazing run she had, is automatically over because WWE just decided to go with Lacey Evans. And don't get me wrong, Lacey Evans is badass. I love watching Lacey Evans. I think she's cool as shit when she comes up there and she punches her, but I hate the gimmick, but I like the way she carries herself. And she's confident. She believes in her gimmick, even though her gimmick sucks. And she should be like a badass Marine, like a Sergeant Slaughter, a female Sergeant Slaughter, which would be epic. But of course, we get this Southern Belle BS, which, like I said, she does it well, so let her do her thing. Hey, and I'm not one to judge, but I'm just saying, man, I feel like they're missing an opportunity with this Lacey Evans. I feel like if they had debuted her as this badass Marine, single mom, hell of a woman, I can do anything, you know, even as a heel, she could have been a heel. She's just been so cocky and conceited that she was a heel. Hell, Sergeant Slaughter was a heel at times. So how great would that have been? But instead we get the Southern Belle thing that, whatever. But like I said, she's doing good. She's presenting herself good, and her punch looks real as fuck. So I'm down with it. I'm good with it. So you know what? I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. You know, and then the next night on SmackDown, AJ Styles shows up, which is awesome. He's only been gone a week or two, but great. We missed him. He's back. Then, you know, you have Kofi and Sami Zayn. They're all three in a triple threat match for the championship. And I'm sitting there going, why the fuck is Sami Zayn in it? He hasn't done anything. I mean, I love Sami. He's been cutting some cool promos, but he hasn't been doing anything. He hasn't been come out cutting promos and then whooping somebody's ass. So why would you put him in a title match? Again, there's no, continuity. There's no freaking make sense to the storylines. The night before, we saw Sami get thrown in a dumpster by Braun Strowman that just so happened to have the garbage truck arriving at 8 o'clock at night to pick it up and dump it, which made absolutely no sense. Because I'm pretty sure the trash does not run at 8 o'clock at night. And what are the chances of him just happening to be throwing him out there when the trash compactors, trash trucks coming to get the trash? I mean, honestly, man, are you really? Yeah, I understand we got to suspend our belief in our disbelief. I understand it's scripted, but come on, man, you got to do better than that. It's about as bad as him ripping a car apart that looked like it was a fake car, and then the next day, not even the next day, I think by the end of that night, they were advertising a toy with him in the car. So it's like there's no realism. It just doesn't feel real. In MLW, if L.A. Park rips a car apart or beats up a car or whatever, they're not going to release a toy the next day. They're going to make it feel like this monster of a heel just destroyed this car. You know, and it's just like I said, man, no continuity. No, they don't make sense. They don't push it to the limits of reality. They go past the point of reality, and then you're left disappointed and pissed off. And so, anyways, back to the wild card rule. We have Kofi, who's already on SmackDown. Kofi came the night before. But then on SmackDown, you have on SmackDown, you have AJ Styles show up. You have the Usos show up, who challenged for the WWE Tag Team Championships, which is crazy because they just had them. They lost them. They went to Raw. They're back now. They're challenged for them. I'm great. I love the Usos, so hey, give it to them. But they lost to Bryan and Rowan, which is awesome. I like Daniel Bryan and Rowan together. I mean, they're both bearded, crazy-looking dudes who love the environment. I think that's cool. I'm really excited about seeing what they're going to do with these titles. You know, there was a rumor back a while ago that right around WrestleMania that people were thinking about they were going to unify the titles because WWE had some tag team title belts made. There you go. That's the belts they had made. I guarantee that's the belts they had made. So we're about to get probably some. You know what? I don't know if I should give them that much credit, though. I don't think they planned this far out. So, I mean, they could have. I mean, but the way WWE's been going with their storytelling and stuff lately, I doubt that. That could have just been a rumor. But, yeah, hopefully we're going to get some new environmentally friendly titles, which should be pretty cool. It's something different. And, you know, Daniel Bryan being in this tag division now is going to really elevate it. That freaking promo he cut after winning those titles backstage was epic. That might have been one of the best promos all year I've seen out of any wrestler on WWE. Samoa Joe is the other best promo guy, but I haven't really seen much of Samoa Joe lately. He's the United States champion, but hey, whatever. I'm pretty sure he was on Raw. I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch all of Raw. I skipped around, watched little pieces of it because, man, I just can't sit through it anymore. It's so depressing. So I've got to where I just watch little clips on YouTube or fast forward through different things. It's just, like I said, man, it's just getting boring. It's gotten boring. I'd rather watch an episode of ROH or MLW Fusion. I think that's a better show. Or NXT. I love NXT. Don't get me wrong. NXT's great. You can never go wrong with NXT. But it's whatever, man. So WWE feels scripted. I know it's scripted, but it really feels scripted. Hopefully they do some changes. I don't think this wild card thing's going to work. I honestly don't. Hopefully it does. I mean, hell, the sad thing is they don't need a wild card. They don't need a wild card rule. They just need to build up their characters. They need to make their characters make sense. They need to make their characters stars. They have so many amazing wrestlers on those rosters. Why can't they build them up and have all of them be stars? Fox and USA wouldn't be demanding that you bring Roman in if they had built other stars. But they didn't. And now we're stuck with this conundrum where Roman's going to be on Raw. He's booked for a live event on SmackDown on the same night, so he can't be at both. So there's going to be some disappointed fans. And you know they're not going to let him go to SmackDown unless they can somehow figure out a way to fly him there quickly. I doubt it, though. So, I mean, come on, man. We got to figure out some way to just change it up, man. Start telling stories that people care about and get us invested. Get us invested. Oh, I know you will never get another Vince versus Stone Cold type storyline. It'll never work out like that again. But by God, you could tell us storylines like the Pillman Stone Cold. That was a great storyline. Or the Rock Stone Cold. Or hell, even the Hogan Rock. Or, you can go back to the Attitude Era or even the Ruthless Aggression era, and you can just pick killer-ass feuds. And we just don't get those anymore. We don't get builds. We don't. They'll throw somebody in there. Somebody will win a fatal 5-way or fatal 10-way or whatever the fuck it is. The flavor of the week is usually it's a fatal 4-way or something. Which gets to why wouldn't you have a tournament for things? You know, is it because New Japan does so many tournaments that they're afraid of doing tournaments? I don't know, man, but it's just depressing as fuck. Why not do a tournament? Why not? It would make more sense. It makes the wrestlers look credible. And, man, you could have anybody do good in the tournament and work, and get to the top. An underdog, somebody who you didn't think would win. Hell, Zack Ryder. Like, that would have made so much more sense leading up to WrestleMania if they'd had a tag team tournament and had Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins win. How good would that have been? But no, you just had some random challenge like the week of, and then they have the match and they win. That makes no fucking sense, man. The whole time they buried the fucking Revival. I hope the Revival leaves. I really hope they leave. And I hope this backfires on WWE, the dumb shit they're doing to them. Because it's dumb shit. I know they did dumb shit back in the day. I saw somebody posted on Twitter that, oh, you get mad about this, but back then they wasn't burying talent. It wasn't burying talent to make those comedic things. This is burying them because they refused to sign a new contract, which you can't blame them for signing a new contract. They win the tag team titles and they lose. Does that make any fucking sense? Can we make it work out, WWE? All right. Moving on past WWE, throwaway. It always feels like it's either building to something or they're trying to define a character or whatever. I definitely recommend checking out NXT if you've never checked out NXT. It's so good. It doesn't even feel like it's a WWE product because it's so different than WWE's main roster, Raw and SmackDown. Their main shows don't even hold a candle to the NXT show. So, Mia Yim, she came out with versus Bianca Belair. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. It ended with a fluke. Bianca Belair did some shit with her long ass ponytail and on the ropes and held the pin and won. So I imagine we'll get a rematch on that one. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of Belair's hair. That thing is weird, but hey, whatever. She seems to be confident in her gimmick and just needs some tweaks and it'd be probably perfect. But definitely a good match. Then we had Riddick Moss versus Raul Menendez. And, man, I was wondering what happened to Riddick Moss. Back last time I saw him, he was teaming with Sabatelli, which was, I enjoyed their tag team. I thought they were cool, but I remember when they broke up, and they both were injured. They both had to go out and get surgery. Sabatelli hasn't come back yet, or Sabatino, or whatever his name was. He hasn't come back yet. But we got Riddick Moss coming back with his Riddick, what do you call it? He's got a new gimmick, and it's the Riddick something. Oh, it's like a workout regimen. Oh, the Riddick Regiment. That's what it is. And he's doing this thing where he's got the water bottle with his regiment on it, and he's talking about how he's this built monster and this, his bodybuilder or whatever. And he is. This dude is ripped. I'm surprised Vince McMahon had scooped him up and put him on the main roster because he loves them ripped dudes. And this dude is 6'5", 6'6", and just ripped. He's even more ripped than when he left. He's turned all what little bit of fat he had from, when he played football and shit into muscle. This dude is a beast. So, but I just don't know, man. This character they've got him doing with the Riddick regimen is just, it's kind of stupid. I just say let him come out and beat people's asses. Don't do some stupid. NXT's normally good about this, but man, this gimmick I don't think is going to work. What they had with him before with the tag team, that same gimmick, just keep it going. Don't go in and try to change it too much, which they have. I imagine they'll tweak it, though. Hopefully we'll get a better product because he really just came out to not really but to lose to Raul Menendez, which was he's a good character. He's fast, and I was surprised that he won because he's so much smaller. But then again, nowadays that's that's the future of wrestling is these small guys. They're super fast. The big guys can't really get their hands on them. Before they know it, they're being pinned and they're losing the match. And then we had Adam Cole from the Undisputed Era up against Matt Riddle in what was an excellent match, probably match of the night, or it was match of the night. Matt Riddle come out on top after Roderick Strong came down to help, but Cole blamed Roderick because he didn't do anything. He just helped him get back in the ring, and then Cole hit Riddle with a super kick. And next thing you know, he's on top of him, pinning him, and Riddle puts him in some kind of crazy-ass looking submission, and Cole taps out, which pisses me off. But I know they're trying to show the disdain between, or how Undisputed Era is losing Roderick Strong, which I figured would happen when Bobby Fish got hurt and they brought in Roderick Strong. I knew that it was that was probably a temporary thing because I don't think they ever really had plans for Roderick Strong to be a member of the Undisputed Era. They just put him there because Fish was out. But now that Fish is back with Kyle O'Reilly and they're back to the Red Dragon, their tag team. They're not really called Red Dragon, but you know what I mean. I think that it's there's not enough room, or maybe they feel like there's not enough room for for him, but I disagree. I think he's done his best work since he turned heel and went with the Undisputed Era. I did not like the Roderick Strong before, and I love the current iteration of Roderick Strong. He just looks more like a badass. You can tell he's been in the gym. He looks more chiseled. His face looks more chiseled. He's got the 3-day-old beard, or the rough beard. He just is better as the bad guy, as a member of Undisputed Era. So I would love to see him work it out, because it would be better to have all four of them together. But hey, you never know. I know I seen somewhere on social media afterwards, WWE had posted after the show they was arguing outside, and Roderick Strong threw his armband and his shirt at him and walked away. So this looks like the end of Roderick Strong in the Undisputed Era. I hope it's not the end of the Undisputed Era, because man, there's so much more that can be done with this faction, especially with Adam Cole as the leader. Dude is just good. So good. And them going to the main roster as a faction would make sense, because Cole is not big. But if you have three guys there backing you up, interfering, beating up your opponents before the matches and shit like that, then it's believable. And not to mention Cole is just damn good. Probably my favorite wrestler. He's so good. I love the way he comes out and does that Adam Cole baby. I would love to see him do it in 80,000 people, and see if they can get the whole 80,000 people to freaking say Adam Cole baby. Dude is good, man. He's got so much charisma. If he was 5 inches taller and about 60 pounds heavier, he would be the biggest star of all time, probably. He'd be the next Ric Flair. He is just that good on the mic. He's that good the way he carries himself. He carries himself like he's that big, even though he's not. The dude is so good. I've liked him ever since. A matter of fact, between him and AJ Styles is the reason I started watching Ring of Honor. I had heard about him on a podcast, and I was like, man, I'm going to go check these dudes out, or go check out. It was AJ Styles first, and then I saw Adam Cole, because it was right when AJ Styles left. It was amazing, and I got hooked after that. So, really love me some Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era. I hope they stay together. It would be so disappointing if they break up. Just would. And that's my review of NXT this week. So, check it out. It was good. Never disappointing with NXT. The Ring of Honor the World Tour from last night. It was epic, pretty damn good. I enjoyed every second of it, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So we started out, we had the Guerrillas of Destiny. They defeat Guerrillas of Destiny and their brother Hikuleo. It's a hard name to pronounce. I do apologize. Stoners can never pronounce names, man. Sorry about that. But the dude is huge, and I imagine it's just a matter of time before he's a part of the Bullet Club. I think he'd make a great addition. They need a giant. That would be awesome to have a big ass dude as a member of the Bullet Club, because he's big. The dude is tall, and he's big. I know I said big many times, but the dude is big and tall. Looks great in the ring. Doesn't look too green. I think it'd be great if he got to, join the Bullet Club. And it looked like it. They were doing the Too Sweet and stuff like that at the end of the match. They defeated Alex Coughlin, Carl Friedrichs, and Clark Connor. It's three guys I've never heard of. I imagine they're young talent from New Japan. I'll be honest, I don't really keep up with New Japan as much as I probably should. And I plan on doing it, but there's a lot of wrestling out there. And lately I just, reluctantly I watch WWE because it's gotten to the point now where I don't even care much about it. ROH is really amazing. I'm a member of the Honor Club, and boy, I tell you what, it's a $9.99 worth spending. Because you get the tour events, you get the live, those live events, you get the TV tapings every week. It's good. It's worth $9.99, I think. I wish they had a better search engine so I could find specific matches. Like, I'd love to see some old AJ style matches or some old Samoa Joe matches. They have them, but you have to like go through them yourself. It's really not a good search engine, but it's definitely a good. It's good, and you can tell it's going to get better. Anyways, God and Hikuleo defeat those guys. No interference. Nobody came out afterwards. It was just a solid match, clean finish. And started off really good and strong with a good match, with a good tag team match. It's so amazing how ROH treats their tag team division compared to the way the WWE treats theirs. You have tag teams that are stars. Same for New Japan. Same for MLW. But you have these tag teams that are stars that can main event pay-per-views. And WWE just hasn't done that. I've heard it's because Vince hates tag teams, but whatever. So anyways, moving on. Then we had Silas Young versus Nagata. This was a good match. It was. The Blue Justice really come out strong. I thought it was cool what happened at the end. He acted like Silas Young hit him with a chair when the ref wasn't looking. He laid down, and then the ref turned around and saw Silas Young going and grabbing the chair from over his neck, and disqualified Silas Young. Then Silas Young was pissed off, and he was going to beat up Nagata, and Nagata just snapped and like got him in an armbar, and his eyes are rolling in the back of his head. The shit looked cool. Really good match. Again, it looked like New Japan sent their older legend guys. But hey, it was good, though. The guys can still go, so I'm not complaining. It just, we didn't get any like Okada or, Jay White or anybody like that. So I was disappointed about that, but hey, whatever. These guys still can go, so hey, let's have them go. And then we had a good tag team match. I really enjoyed it. Evil and Sonata. They defeated Vinny and TK O'Ryan from the Kingdom. They defeated it. It was such a good match. I really enjoyed every second of it. Man, Evil and Sonata can go. Those dudes, like, man, they don't look like they should be together because they look totally different. They're both don't wear black, and they just look like single stars, which I imagine they were great single stars before they were tag team. But, man, they've done a damn good job. They've done a damn good job doing it. So I really enjoy the matches. I really enjoyed the match with Sonata and Evil and the Kingdom. I was hoping for the Kingdom to win. I'm a Kingdom fan, but hey, Evil and Sonata came out on top. But it was a good showing from Vinny and TK. Definitely a good match. I just love how they present these tag teams, man. It feels important. I mean, Vinny had been going back and forth about Evil on social media and saying some shit in promos about how he's more evil. And it just was a good story, and it wasn't even that much of a story, but it still made sense. And it was a good match. And Sonata and Evil came out on top. I imagine there'll be more. I'd love to see a Vinny versus Evil match for who's the most evil or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they can get a horror movie from a pole match or something. I don't know, but it was a really good match, and I definitely hope that we keep seeing stuff like this out of ROH because hey, it's good. Next we had Rush defeated PJ Black. Now it didn't hurt PJ Black to lose because this guy's a star regardless, and he's already built up a reputation for being a star. Roosh is new in the United States, so I definitely think he needed the win, even though I would like to have seen PJ win. I love PJ Black. I love his gimmick. I love the gray hair and the gray beard and the way he braids it. And the dude is built. He looks like he's built like a machine. He's a badass. I love PJ Black. I can't even believe he was that guy in WWE. I can't even remember his name in WWE. He's like slipping my mind. I was trying to remember it last night. I know I can just Google it, but it's not even worth it. Who wants to remember that guy? PJ Black is way cooler. And Rush is just a badass. If WWE would present their Hispanic wrestlers, their Mexican luchadors, the way ROH presents theirs, oh my God, the sky would be the limit. But no, they have them doing dumb shit like Lucha House Party, and just none of them are ever taken seriously except for Rey Mysterio, and that was a whole different time. I'm not sure we'll ever get that again. Andrade is probably the closest thing we're going to get, and that's still yet to come because they could start burying him any moment. You never know when they're going to decide to do that. So hopefully they don't. And I would love to see them build him up the way Rush is. Rush is such a badass. Like the way he defeated Dalton Castle in like 17 seconds when they went against each other at the Madison Square Garden. I love the way they're building this guy up. I love how he looks when he comes out in his mask with the horns and he rips it off and you got the hair hanging and his beard showing. He's a badass, man. Rush is a badass. I think they need to give him a manager because he can't speak English real well. But other than that, the dude is a beast. I love watching his matches. Like I said, it was good that he got the win because he needed it, because they need to keep building him up strong. I imagine eventually they're going to put him, going after one of the titles, because you can only go undefeated so long in ROH and you're going to get a shot, because they know how to tell stories. They know how to build wrestlers. And I'll get to the PCO talking about how they built up a 51-year-old man into being a megastar. And it's all the way they've done it. It's the formula that ROH uses that WWE seems to have forgotten. But anyways, Rush defeated PJ Black in an excellent match. Then we had Dalton Castle. Comes out, cuts a pretty cool promo. I loved his jacket and shoes. He told some fan to keep his shoes out of his mouth when the fan said something about his shoes. Thought that was great. Dalton Castle, as always, is just great. The dude's awesome. He was cutting a promo about why he destroyed the boys and how he didn't need them anymore. It was an awesome promo. Dalton Castle, I imagine they're changing him up a little bit, and he's going to make a comeback. And I see another championship run in his future. Maybe not near future, but he'll get there. The dude's great, and enough can't be said about Dalton Castle. Anyways, it was great. Then we had the Briscoes, which are my favorite tag team. I love the Briscoes. They were badasses. They cut some of the most epic fucking promos on social media. And, oh, man, they're just great. I love the fucking Briscoes. I would love to see a Briscoes-Uso match. Probably never get that, but, man, that would be awesome. That's something that would save WWE ratings. Could you imagine him announcing that they're going to have a Briscoes versus Usos match on Monday Night Raw? Dude, people would tune in like you wouldn't believe. But that's probably not going to happen. Briscoes are really loyal to ROH, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all, man. They'd go to WWE, and they'd have them putting icy hot on people's crotches next thing you know, it'd be just depressing. So let's leave them over to ROH. They defeated Tracy Williams and Mark Haskins in what was a hell of a match. Hard hitting. These dudes beat the piss out of each other. But of course, the Briscoes come out on top. Lifeblood, hey man, I ain't gonna lie. Lifeblood, those two guys aren't the biggest guys, but man, they can go. They can go in the ring. And it's believable. It's believable because they're so fast and their moves are so precise, and those guys are good. So it's a damn good match. Check it out if you get a chance, because I definitely recommend watching this pay-per-view or this tour. If you have the ROH Honor Club, it's free for Honor Club members. So go check it out, man. Subscribe to the Honor Club. You won't regret it. It's awesome. Briscoes come out on top, like I said. Then we had probably one of the best matches of the whole night. If not, it was the second best. It was for the television championship. We had Jeff Cobb, Shane Taylor, Hiroki Goto, and Brody motherfucking King in a fatal four-way, which was hard. It was good. It was like you took four bulls and threw them into the ring and said, go. And these motherfuckers just went wild. It was good. I enjoyed it. I wasn't thrilled about the ending, but hey, Shane Taylor, man, the dude's he's loyal to ROH. The dude is a constant. He's a bully. I honestly believe he's just like a younger version of Bully Ray, except from the other extreme. Bully Ray's like this tough white guy bully, and Shane Taylor's like this tough black guy bully. So it's both on each at the end of each spectrum, and it's really cool. I would love to see them two work together in something. Hell, they'd make a great tag team, I think, because Bully Ray is good with tag teams. Hell, he's probably one of the greatest tag teams of all time. So I think Shane Taylor deserved it. I didn't want to see it. I wanted to see Brody King win. That'd be so badass if Brody King had 3 belts. He got the NWA championship. He got the ROH 6-man tag team championships. And then he would have the freaking world television title. That would be epic. I would love to have seen that. But hey, it's good to put the rub on somebody else and give him a belt. Shane Taylor's probably going to carry this belt for a hot minute because that dude is dirty and he'll do whatever it takes to win. And I can't see somebody just beating him for that belt because that dude's been trying to get a belt for a while. So good on Shane Taylor for winning it. It was a hard-hitting match. I missed the very end of it. I think he pinned Jeff Cobb. I can't remember because my little girl was here. I was trying to get her to sleep, and I looked away for a second. Next thing you know, he was winning, and I didn't rewind it back. So I'm not sure if he pinned Jeff Cobb or not, but it was good. It was a great match. I highly recommend it. And moving on, we had Jay Lethal defeating Satoshi Kojima. Again, it looked like they sent their old guys, their old legends, New Japan did, because this guy was pretty old. But hey, it was a good match. I am dying for Jay Lethal to turn back heel. I don't know. This current iteration of his character being all Magoo and shit, this for the fans, BS, shaking hands. I don't know, man. I just don't like this version of Jay Lethal. I really want to see a heel Jay Lethal. I even tried to start the hashtag Turn Jay Heel. But hey, I didn't get a good going. But it would have been cool. It would have been cool. It would be cool. I think that's hopefully what they're going to do because he's had such a long run as a babyface. It's almost time they need to, tip the scales back and give him, turn him back heel. Because Jay Lethal's a good heel. He really is. I'll be honest. I'd like to see Jay Lethal as like a leader of some faction. I mean, it would work out. It really would. The dude's got charisma. Put him as a heel faction, leader of whoever. Maybe the leader of, I don't know, if Juice stays in Japan or if Juice isn't around, he could be the leader of Lifeblow and Juice isn't around or whatever. But, Jay Lethal definitely needs to be heel. It's a good match. Jay Lethal beat him with a lethal injection. I really was, not surprised. I mean, I don't see why you'd beat Jay Lethal, at least not right now. He lost his title and he's trying to build himself back. Then we had the match of the night. It was epic. I loved every single second of it. I was sitting there watching it with my jaw on the ground. Some of the shit that PCO does, some of the bumps he takes. This dude isn't human for real. But the immortal Matt Taven pulled it off. The Kingdom came out, interfered, was messing around, doing their thing, and freaking Taven, they had busted PCO's eye open earlier in the match, and on an axe, for Christ's sake. And Vinny held an axe in the ring, and what Taven did his move on the axe, and it looked like it hit his eye, and he was bleeding. And then next thing you know, when the ref's not looking, Vinny handed him a spike, and a railroad spike, a purple railroad spike, and he jabbed it in his eye, hit him with it, knocked him down, pinned him for the win, and we get Matt Taven retaining over the insane PCO. Man, the entrance was cool. They brought Destro in. I wonder if Destro is the 4th member of the Villain Enterprises, because I saw where they were saying they were going to get a 4th member, and they were like scouring the globe. That would be cool because, everybody knows the story history of Destro and him resurrecting PCO into what we have today. Dude, PCO is so freaking over. And the whole reason this man's over is because ROH has booked him like a monster. He was undefeated up until last night. He only lost due to a damn them cheating. The dude is awesome. He's a beast, man. And they've done it right. I promise you, if it would have been WWE, he wouldn't be nowhere near as popular as he is right now. If he would have signed with WWE, it just wouldn't have flown. WWE would have had him out there coming out every week just attacking people the way they're doing Lars Sullivan. It wouldn't have made any sense. It would have been stupid. And we'd have probably forgot about him within a few months. Oh, that old man had a good little comeback run, but, forget about him. But no, ROH is making it feel like he is this truly Frankenstein of a monster, and he is badass, and you can only defeat him if you cheat. Some of the shit he does is insane. God, that bump where he jumped off, he did the, what's it called? The move off the top rope onto the ring apron, on the side of the ring apron, and Taven moved, and oh my God, it looked like it'd be so painful. Or the suplex that Taven did to him outside the ring, and he hit that ground so hard. And I know there's mats, but man, that looked painful. But PCO, man, PCO's a beast, and dude's got a lot left in the tank, and I applaud ROH for signing him and giving him the push they gave him, because this man is definitely still got it. All right, that was the end of the match. That was the end of the pay-per-view. I loved every second of it. Go sign up for ROH Honor Club. You won't regret it. Until next time, stay high on wrestling.